Hello everybody, it's Julia here from the Highly Sensitive Tarot, and I'm back today with my week ahead reading. So, how was it for you all last week? Did you have distractions? Did you manage to sort of knuckle down and get on with whatever you needed to do? There's been some difficult energies around, hasn't there, with Mercury retrograde, which thankfully I think we're coming out of towards the end of this month, aren't we? About the 29th of November. So this reading is from Sunday the 23rd to the 30th of November. And as usual, take what resonates and leave the rest. I do have a disclaimer for my readings. If you look in the description box for this video at the bottom, there is a disclaimer, but I'm sure that you all know how these things work. So this is a reading for the collective. It's not for an individual, and it's just really a sampling of the energies. If it resonates, that's fantastic. Today I'm going to use the Slow Tarot, which is a new deck, which only came maybe a week ago, so I've been playing with that. It's by Lacey Bryan. It's a lovely deck, actually. Really pleased with it. And at the end we will have an oracle card from the Earth Magic oracle deck. I'm just trying to think what else is going on astrology wise this week. We're now into Sagittarius season, aren't we? Just about. So happy birthday to all you Sagittariuses. We've just had a new moon in Scorpio, and I could feel that energy, the intensity of that, actually. And I think later in the month we've also got Saturn stationing direct, haven't we? So that may indicate a time when we're able to move forward a bit more, in a bit more of a structured way with our plans, perhaps. Leaving some of that emotional intensity behind, which would be nice, wouldn't it? So let's put that over there and give these cards a shuffle. And I'm going to do the same as last week. We're going to have 3 cards for the theme of the week, 3 cards for what to grow, and 3 cards for what to let go of. Plus we'll look at the bottom of the deck, obviously. Hang on. I managed to find some ethically sourced smudges and various things, so I've been really enjoying burning them, actually. We had our first snow overnight, and today it is bloody freezing. But should be a little bit milder next week. So for the 23rd to the 30th, please, if we could have some cards to reflect the energy of the coming week. Okay, so what have we got? So we have the 6 of Wands at the bottom of the deck. Very nice. We have the 8 of Cups and the King of Swords and the 7 of Pentacles for the theme of the week. So, with the King of Swords, I mean, kings, as I've said before, they represent passion and personal power. They're all about authority, aren't they? No more, you know, the King of Swords particularly likes to be right. He likes everything in its order, everything structured. This is somebody who's a very good communicator, quite assertive, could be potentially quite strict. And then we have the 8 of Cups, coming into the King of Swords. And the Eight of Cups is obviously about letting things go. It's about abandoning things, walking away from things that don't serve you anymore. So it's a really important energy, actually. And eights in astrology can mean kind of recognizing, in astrology, sorry, numerology, they can kind of represent a mastery or a success in some way, because I think they're often about recognizing our limitations and moving past them. Like I said, letting go of the things that don't serve us anymore. And then we also have the Eight of Coins, which is the Eight of Pentacles, Seven of Pentacles, sorry. And that's a card of hard work, being patient, hedging your bets, maybe, in this card here, you know, working it all out. This man here's got a card up his sleeve. So there's a kind of sleight of hand in some way here. There's a feeling of cheating or being cheated in this card, which I don't always associate with the Seven of Coins, but sevens are challenges. Sevens often represent personal development, I think, in numerology. And pentacles are obviously concerned with our everyday living, aren't they? About money and work and health and things that are real and physical and tangible in our lives. So yeah, this is the theme of the week. Potentially leaving something behind, or potentially working out what it is that's no longer serving you, I would guess. Being able to see the truth of something that's happening, maybe something that's not working out well for you, like in this card, something is not working out well here, is it? There's a need to be patient, I guess, isn't there? Yeah. So that's the theme of the week. So what to grow for this week, please? What needs to grow? What is important, positive, and represents growth for this week, please? Oops, slide off. And we got the Page of Coins there, bless her. So let's put those there. We have the Hanged Man, the Page of Cups, and Temperance. That's really nice, isn't it? That's lovely energy, actually. So the Hanged Man is all about a new perspective, isn't it? I like in this card here, look. He's been hanging there for so long, look. All the spiders have built a web around his feet. And actually he's building a web with his hands there also, isn't he? Do you remember that game? I don't know whether you played it when you were a child, where you had elastic. Cat's Cradle, was it called? I'm not sure. But that's just an interesting thing, isn't it? I'm not really sure what that means. But obviously the Hanged Man is a card of new perspectives, of being able to let go. It's about inner work, personal development. It's a 3, isn't it? Card number 12 is a 3, and 3s often represent like 3 separate forces maybe coming together and working together in some kind of creativity or growth. Perhaps that's what the spiders are doing here, is that they're part of that 3 of helping him grow. And then we've got the Page of Cups, which is lovely. The Page of Cups is a really gentle, sensitive kind of emotional energy, isn't it? Kind of immature, like we can see here with this boy. But he's just taking really great delight in being in the water and being with the fish. He's just happy, isn't he? He's happy in his childlike little world. I think pages often deliver messages, so there's that. But pages to me are just like a childlike adult or the fool's alter ego in some way, somebody that needs to develop an aspect of their personality. But essentially, it's a very youthful and playful energy. It's a nice energy, isn't it? As is Temperance. Temperance is beautiful. This is card number 14, so that's a 5. Yeah. Number 5s represent change, don't they? Things being not stable. And here we see a man blending, making the perfect sort of cup of tea here, really, isn't he? There's an art to making tea properly, and I would imagine in this sort of posh hotel, perhaps, where they are, that's what the guests will expect, isn't it? Is this proper process of making a cup of tea. And Temperance is all about balance, isn't it? An equilibrium. It's a tolerant energy, I think. So if we're looking at things to let go of things to grow, perhaps it would be an ability to look inwards, to see a certain situation from a different perspective, to try and see the humour and the positive aspects in whatever situation that you're in, to not be overly serious, like the King of Swords here. Perhaps that's what needs to be let go of in the theme of the week here, is this overly serious King of Swords energy. Perhaps that's what needs to be let go of. And even though in the Seven of Coins here, there's something a bit underhand going on, it's still a game, isn't it? It's something that if you didn't take it too seriously, it would be playful, wouldn't it? I'm getting a feel of playful here throughout these cards so far. You know, Temperance can almost be a playing with the balance of things, to reach that harmony and that equilibrium. So if there's something to grow, I think it would be your ability to see something from a different perspective, to see the lighter side of a situation, to not be too rigid, to just try and go with the flow, try and fit in, try and find the balance in a situation, try and see both sides of any kind of discussion or argument, perhaps, see other people's point of view. I think it would be that kind of thing, really. So if we had to think of something to let go of, please, what would that be? We have the Five of Cups here at the bottom of the deck. So this is a real disappointment, isn't it? This is regret. I mean, bless him, he's obviously broken this china here and knows he's going to be in trouble. And there's real regret there. You can see that. What else do we have? We have the Queen of Coins, the Queen of Pentacles, the Queen of Wands, and the Ten of Swords. Well, that's powerful energy, isn't it? For something to let go of. Blimey. Look at these beautiful queens here. So the Queen of Pentacles, she's somebody that is concerned again with sort of everyday life, a grounded individual. Queens are like reflections of the Empress, aren't they? They're kind of a creative force, I guess. The Queen of Wands is somebody quite energetic and ambitious, likes to be moving forward, can be quite heated, quite passionate about things. And then we have the Ten of Swords, which is an ending, isn't it? It's the intrinsic meaning of this suit of swords. So it's like the end result of the suit of swords, and it's an ending. It's something that has served its purpose, and there needs to be a new cycle to begin. And we see that here in the theme of the week, don't we? And this leaving something behind. I do feel very much still that see, queens to me, they represent quite a lot of responsibility, I suppose. They're there to tame the kings, aren't they, and the emperor in a way. You know, without the queens, without the empress, that energy would become overly controlling and overly rigid. So to me, there's a real feeling of and actually we've got a king here, haven't we, who I felt very strongly was somebody that needed, or an energy that needs to be let go of, or certainly put in its place, really, not being allowed to control and dominate and take over. So I feel that these queens are here to kind of address the balance, to bring some of this temperance here, to bring some harmony and some softness and some creativity and some growth to the week. And while the Ten of Swords can be a very painful energy, you know, it is the end of a cycle, isn't it? It's a renewal of some kind. And there can feel a wounding or a loss involved in this card. But I don't actually see that in this week that's how it's going to manifest itself. I just think it will almost be like a relief to let go of some of this responsibility. I think, like I said, what needs to grow here is an ability to see something from a different perspective and to see the lighter side of life, to maybe try and focus on things that you enjoy, things that remind you of times in your life when you didn't have any responsibilities when you were a child. That is my feeling about all of this, really. And like I said, at the bottom of the deck, we've got the Five of Cups here. But I don't think that this is really something to be feeling sad and defeated and disappointed about. I feel that this is a letting go, that this is almost like a relief, and that whatever it is that you're able to bring into balance will bring an enormous benefit to your life next week. So my advice really for next week would be to try and see things from both points of view. If you're being met with some kind of controlling or domineering energy, or you feel that something that you've maybe put a lot of work into and is not going well, maybe it's time to let some of that go, because I think it's bogging you down, it's bringing you down, and it's time to just try and enjoy life a little bit more. to sit maybe in some of this queen energy that is softer, and allows for that growth and that development. I think, I know that this is what to let go of, but I do see here these queens are there to help you let go of whatever this is, this end of a cycle. So there we go. Let's pull an oracle card from the Earth Magic and just see how that reflects on this energy. So let's give these a quick shuffle. These are beautiful cards. I do love these. I've had these years. They don't shuffle very well. They're a bit sticky. This is a beautiful deck, isn't it? This slow tarot. Really, really nice. So, some advice, please, for the week ahead. What have we got? Volcano, volatility, blimey. Waterfall at the bottom of the deck, effortless. Let's have a read from the book about volatility. I don't see that particularly in this deck, in this reading. I mean, there's actually potential here for something a little bit explosive for this volatility, because I think that something here needs to change, doesn't it? There is like the end of a cycle. There is something that needs to be looked at and perhaps dealt with in a different way. So there is a potential, at the bottom of the deck, we've got this regret, haven't we? Will mum or dad come home and blow their top, like in this card? What's that about? Let's have a read from the book. Volatility. So this is Pele, isn't it? The goddess of Hawaii. So it says, this is a particularly volatile time for you. Unexpected changes, sometimes quite sudden and dramatic, are occurring in ways that you have absolutely no control over. These occurrences may be so powerful as to shake up what you formerly thought of as the foundations of your security. Yeah. Something is definitely going to change next week. I can see that here. It could come about quite suddenly. This may even cause you to reassess the direction of your life, to question some of your relationships, or reevaluate the work that you have chosen. That's what I said, isn't it? It's like something no longer serves you. Something needs to be looked at in a different perspective and let go of. So although these events may rock your world, know that Spirit is the guiding force behind them. It's a matter of finding your trust that life knows what it's doing in the midst of the storm of change. It also requires you to make these adjustments quickly and to not cling to what was, but instead to move forward with your arms open wide and what is yet to come, all from a place of being present in this moment. You truly have nothing to fear. I like that very much. I feel that that's what's going on here in What to Grow, is that everything is fine in this present moment here with the Hanged Man, the Page of Cups and Temperance. Everything is fine, isn't it? Even though it may feel scary or sad or even painful to a degree, everything in this present moment is fine. And I think it's important to try and remember that there's always something better around the corner, you know, there's always something there. And that certain things have to end in order for the new cycle to begin. So, yeah. So there we go. I hope that in some way this might resonate for you. I hope that you enjoy seeing me read the cards. I always really appreciate watching other people read their cards, just to see their processes and their thoughts. And, you know, this is not necessarily a predictive reading as such. It's just, like I said, a sampling of the energies and the telling of a story, if you like. And because these cards are universal and these stories are universal, it will resonate with some of you, and I hope that if it does, it helps. So thanks very much for watching, sending you all my love, and I will see you again soon.